This is Sporecast,
where we talk about mold, health, and the spaces that we live in.
Where personal experience meets real conversation.
Where we ask better questions about what's making people sick.
And where no one has to navigate it alone.
Thank you for listening to Sporecast. Before we get started, just a quick note. This podcast is for informational and personal experience purposes only. We are not medical professionals and nothing shared here should be taken as medical advice. We all come from different backgrounds and perspectives, so the opinions shared are our own and may not reflect each other or apply to every situation. Always do your own research and consult with a qualified professional when needed. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. This is so exciting.
I'm so excited. This has been in the works for how long?
I think we've known each other 9 months now, like almost a year. We've been talking about this.
Yeah. And like a podcast is one of the first things that was mentioned, and it's finally coming to fruition.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
So welcome to our first.
So I'm going to introduce myself really quick. My name is Baylie, aka the Mold Mom on TikTok, which is how we met. We all have been on a mold journey and we all met through TikTok. Long story short, we joined a coalition. The coalition didn't quite work out. But from that, we have all stayed really close and we just feel like, we're meant to do something together. And at least for now, that is the podcast. Kimberly, can you talk a little bit about yourself?
Yep. My name is Kimberly and on TikTok, I am Soul Siren Somatics. I've been sharing my mold journey on there for a year. But I've been in this mold journey for 4 years now. So I'm navigating and learning and sharing as I go in the hopes that I can help somebody else or somebody else can help me because we're all in this together.
Right. And yeah, so I have been in the mold journey for 2 years that I knew of, but obviously, as we all look back, it's usually a longer journey than we even really know. And then I joined TikTok sometime in the summer of 2025. So then do you have anything to add to how we kind of got here as a group?
I think it's just cool that we were already kind of liking each other's videos. And then as we formed a coalition, it just happened kind of too fast that we didn't really have a handle on it. But from just even that God thing, universe, whatever you want to call it, there's 7 of us that have just really joined and honestly have spoken to each other on a daily basis, which is so important. And I cannot emphasize this enough, is that we have been able to find community in a world where there is no community, where this is. You're left to feel an outcast, crazy, mold's not real, where we found this group that every day we can check in with each other. Accountability, how are you? Try this, try this. And so it's been very important that we've had those connections, we've made those friendships, and we all know that it's only been 9 months, but we're lifetime friends now through this journey. And maybe that's what it was all about. We shall see.
It's odd. I just feel like when we spoke to each other, it's like we all knew each other forever. And we all just kind of mesh well. We all have varying opinions on stuff, but it never encroaches on each other's feelings or anything. And I don't know. It just, to me, it really it felt meant to be. Like we're all meant to be together. It's like a magical bonding of a group of people, which I just feel like you don't get often naturally.
I didn't have 6 besties in high school. I don't know about anybody else. It's always been that all of us odd ducks out are now in this group together. And how cool is it that we're all over the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast and spread into the middle. And Baylie and I actually got to meet when I'm from Utah. And so I went home to see my parents, and Baylie and I met for lunch, and it was amazing. And it's just like we've been friends forever. And so we think it's super cool. We've already got to meet in person. Yes, we had a nice time. It was just comfortable. So hopefully someday we'll all be in the same room together and can chat about how we made it to the other side of this.
We will. I know we all will meet.
Yeah.
So do you want to kind of talk about what we're doing with this podcast, or what this podcast is about?
I would say, for the most part, this podcast is to bring awareness to a very dark and almost non-existent subject that, unless and until you go through it, you don't even know it's a thing. You've never even heard about it. When somebody asked me if I had mold in my house, I was like, I don't know. And it was a whole year after that before realizing, like, holy shit, it's mold. So that's where humanity is with it. We know that. We all know that we're kind of going against the grain here, but we also know how important it is. And that we just, in a world that doesn't want to hear it, that we keep speaking. We're the canaries in the coal mine, if you will. We've lived it. And now we're out here going, hey, take a look around. Do you have indoor molds in your house? Too many think. Mold in the house? No, my house is not dirty. How many times have I heard that? No, my house wasn't dirty either. Everything's folded and organized. Guess what? I hate to tell you this. It had nothing to do with being dirty. Is that a factor? Can it be? Yes. We'll get into it more, but that's not what's got us here, is a dirty house. I'm afraid it's a much bigger thing. And so we've never heard it before this. And so it's important that we come together as a group and we share these experiences to help others along.
I totally agree. And for me, I sort of got obsessed with the injustice around mold. And that's one of the reasons why I'm in it, because it just feels like there's so many injustices out there, and it's because it's not mainstream, even though I don't want to say like almost everyone is dealing with it, but more people than people know are dealing with it. It is so widespread. And so we need to get this information out there and make it more mainstream, because there are little resources for people who are going through this. And we feel so strongly of not wanting people to be in the dark like we were through this journey. I know if I had all of these resources to me, it wouldn't have been such a scary and lonely process. So that's what we're hoping to bring to others as well.
And that's just it. And that's why our connection with our group has been so important, is because the information is not out there. And so you are left in the dark. You're sick. Your house is sick. Your kids are sick. And then on top of all that, you have to go and navigate how to fix that. Who do I go to? What do I take? What do I do? One of those things is overwhelming, but when you throw it all together, it's completely overwhelming. So even just what we've been able to experience in our 9 months of friendships with each other is that we can make that less overwhelming by connecting with each other, by sharing, hey, this worked for me. It didn't work for me. Did you look in the HVAC, did you, we can share these things and make the journey just a little bit easier, which is what we hope to do for everybody else.
Yeah, I love in our little group that we can swap stories and experiences because it's such a unique experience. And yeah, it's nice to be able to know what others are going through and have someone to bounce ideas off of, or like, one of us will say, oh, this is going on with my house. And then the other will be like, okay, well, this is my experience. And so, yeah. So we're going to introduce like the other members like a little bit later in this podcast. But one thing that I wanted to say about all of the members here is I just think it's cool that we all have different backgrounds, like we say. So we have like nurses, we have therapists, we have just like a gambit of people. And so you're going to hear everyone's different experience, lived experience. And that's kind of what you can expect with this podcast is, so like sometimes it'll just be an individual in our group. Sometimes we'll couple up. Sometimes one of us will host a guest. And so I think the format is unique, and I'm excited to see that. We're just going to be putting a variety of information and content out there for people. So I think that'll be great.
Variety is a good word because you won't just keep hearing the same thing on repeat. So we'll pull remediation, what type doctors, what'd you do for detox? Like it's such a big encompassing dating. How hard is it to be dating when you're going through this stuff? Like there's so many topics. My daughter and I just moved into a house together, and while she's over here ordering cute drapes and bedspreads, I'm looking up air scrubbers and cleaning products. Like we're under the same roof and we're not the same. Like, so there'll be I think a huge, amongst all of us, just a huge variety of different podcasts that we can share.
Well, and the good thing about that too is everybody is different, and we all know that one size doesn't fit all in these mold solutions. And so I think the fact that we've all done different things, we've all come from different situations and backgrounds, I think the variety is going to be so rich to give to people, because if it was just me and you this whole time and we were sitting out here saying our experience, it would only work for some people.
For so long. I'm not one for hearing
for so
stuff
long.
over and over. Like we're only so entertaining for so long. So isn't it great that we can pull from all these other people and all these other experiences? And even just living in different climates. You're in Utah. How do you handle mold in Utah versus I'm in Arizona? How do you handle different climates, different weather? So we're going to have different perspectives. So yeah, it's going to be good.
That's such a good point. Yeah. Okay, so with that, do we want to kind of go over the different members of our group and introduce them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we have me, Timberly. We have Laura. She's just a wealth of knowledge about everything from like being able to discover mold in your house yourself, advocating for yourself. She's really good with diet stuff. Anything else you would like to add about Laura?
Laura is very in tune with her body. And I think it's super important that you find that aspect within yourself. Like before Baylie and I hit play on here and we're both sitting in our separate spaces, she's like, I kind of feel funny in here. So I'm in a new room. And sometimes having that intuition is going to take you so much further. And Laura will be able to share how she was able to do that using her body as her tuning fork, if you will. Very religious, very sweet, very cute, very mom of 4 kids, very busy business owner. She wants to take over the remediation world. We always say that between us, we forget we're all mold remediators, which is a total joke. We're just all learning, sharing with each other. But yeah, you start to learn, and we're kind of only half kidding and not kidding. We don't know where this is going to take us. So that's Laura.
Yes. And just like kind of a side note, something that you said kind of sparked something for me, the intuition. That is a gift. And it's hard to say mold gives, like, this experience gives you gifts, but it does give you some gifts. And one of those gifts for me has been being in tune with my body. I have never been this in tune with my body in my entire life. I call it the awakening. This was my awakening. Before, I was just going through life, railroading life, just freeballing and doing whatever, right? So when you go into this mold journey, you suddenly need to be in tune. It's an awakening, and it's going to teach you really fast what's important and what's not. Yeah, because it completely shakes up your life, turns it upside down, and then it is up to you to rebuild. It could completely destroy you if you let it, but you could just come out the other side stronger if you choose to go that way instead.
You get to choose how this story ends, in my opinion. And I think that's why all of us are friends, because all of us have. I've seen too many people get stuck in the poor me victim side, where everybody in our group has been, I'm going to overcome this. I'm not going to let this take me out, and then I'm going to teach the others. So you kind of get to choose how the story ends for you, really, in my opinion.
Right. And something else that, is important to note is all of our stories are still unfolding. So that's kind of neat to see too. All of us are still going through this and still unfolding and still learning. So.
And I'm probably one of the biggest, nobody knows my story.
Yes.
Because I haven't been able to share it yet. So
yes, but one day.
I left my moldy house 4 years ago, and I haven't been able to talk about it since. So people know that I'm going through mold, but they don't know what I've gone through. They have no idea. And all I can keep saying is, I really hope you stick around to hear, because when you hear what I did go through, it's going to surprise you. So I can't wait to share. So everybody's stories, and Dee's still in the middle of it. Like we're still in the middle of it, and a lot of it we're still figuring out.
Right. And I wonder, now that we have this perspective shift, if it's something we're always kind of going to be dealing with, as we move through life.
How could you not, though? I think it's going to be something that we are always going to have to navigate. You're always going to have water in your house. So you're always going to have to, for me, I have to keep going to different rentals. And each time I go to a different rental, I have to figure out that space. I have to navigate that space. I have to make that space livable for me while I'm in it temporarily, because I'm in a transition. Do I think that I'm one day just going to buy this magic house and then all of my worries are going to be gone? No, absolutely not, because I'm still going to have water in my house. I'm still going to have the elements outside. So it's going to be we'll have to navigate it, but I think we'll be able to navigate it easier. It becomes easier. 4 years ago, when I lived in a trailer, and water spilled on the floor, I lost my ever loving mind. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's water. Oh my God. And just, it crumbles you because you have mold PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Where now I live with 2 grandchildren who get water all over the place. And, it just is what it is. And I have to go wipe it up. And, I just got to do it. So navigate forever. Yes. Less of a meltdown, hopefully. And if not, I have made a community of friends that I've leaned on. Like last week when I moved, I was a mess. I was a mess. I'm like, because this is a new space. I just don't know. But I had my friends to say, Laura said, go outside, make your soul siren sanctuary. It's going to be okay. So it becomes more easy to navigate it. But it's a forever.
I think half of the battle is knowing and then empowering yourself. And once you empower yourself, you're not as scared to tackle those problems. Like I feel very, very much empowered of tackling mold issues. I know my house isn't perfect, that I have remediated, but I'm not sitting here panicking all the time because I feel like I'm equipped with the tools and we're at least in a place where it's not actively killing us. It is making us a little sick, but I have the tools where I can just work on it and work on making it better and better. So, and we hope with this podcast and our social media platforms that we can empower others as well, because there is no magic solution to this. It's something that you're possibly going to be navigating. But being empowered is such a powerful tool to have.
That's exactly it. Everybody's like, I'll never be the same again. Good.
Mm-hmm.
You actually are probably going to be better. You're probably going to have healthier relationships because mold is here to clear out everything that's dark in your life. And that includes relationships, friendships, boundaries, family, jobs. Yeah, everything that's bad is probably going to get wiped out. And then you get to start this. I'm 53. I just bought my first piece of furniture 4 years out of mold. I get to decide now what gets brought into my life and how I create it. And I had a mentor say, tell me I'm still living in fight flight. This was a couple years ago, right after. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm scared. Why are you scared? Because I don't want to get sick again. And she's like, but you're not going to. And I'm like, how do you know? Because you have all the tools in your toolbox to avoid that. So now when you see mold, you know what to do. Now when you feel like this, you know what to do. Now you have this beautiful toolbox that you get to take everywhere with you. Now you're empowered, you're stronger, you're better. So it's not going to take you down like you did before. This is a new way of navigating this journey. And then that has just always stuck with me. It's your toolbox.
I really like that. I like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's true. You're never going to go back to your old life or old way of being. And we always talk about loops. I think that's another loop that people get caught in is they keep trying to go back to where they were before this journey happened. And they're just getting caught there instead of growing upward and going in that different path and direction that life is taking you. They're trying to go back and it's just like a loop.
When we're in chat and we're talking and we know each other so well now that we're like, close the loop. We can comfortably tell each other, like, I don't think you should be doing that. Like that needs to get handled or you're going to keep living that way for another year.
Yep.
So life is lessons. And I'll absolutely, and Baylie too, we're into the energetics of it. And well, the woo-woo stuff, if you will, I guess. It's really not. But patterns, repeating patterns, close the loop, or you relearn the lesson. So if you keep buying shitty, moldy houses, you're going to keep living in shitty, moldy houses. We're probably not allowed to swear. We can bleep that out. You will still, right? Whereas if you learn what to look for, the next time you come to that, you're probably going to choose a better house. Same thing with relationships. I'll bring the narcissistic piece into this because I definitely have that experience. Now, I could have kept going from narcissistic relationship to narcissistic relationship, but I stopped that. I learned the pattern. I learned what the eyes were. I learned how to see it, and I learned how to alchemize it and then move on from it. So everything, call it woo-woo, call it whatever you want, is learning a lesson and closing the loop. In my opinion.
Okay, so now moving on to the next member is Kate. And she is such, like, I admire her as a business person. I just think she is so smart and savvy. I think she brings a grounded voice to the mold community, which I really like. I think she's such a great mom, and she shares real aspects of how it has affected her as a mom. So yeah, I'm excited to see Kate on here too. Do you have anything to add about Kate?
So on TikTok, Kate is Kate in Arizona. So Kate and I are both in Arizona. I think we're on opposite sides, so we've never met. But also Kate had a article done last week from USA Today. So our voices are being heard, and it's going to go mainstream, we hope.
And she's doing really well on TikTok, so
she's doing really well.
Really happy for her.
And we'll make sure everybody has everybody's handles because everybody's sharing on there. It's a good resource.
Yes, we'll put all of our handles in the show notes.
But she's a mom, she's busy. What drew me to Kate when I was watching her is that she knows how to work the insurance companies. So yes. She knew how to go after the insurance company to have her remediation paid for. I don't want to say too much on that. I don't want to mess it up. But what she did in my world was unheard of. So I was like, yeah, we need her on the team because she knows what to say and how to say it. Like, she's very calm, very boss.
I completely agree. And then, okay, so then we have Danny. She is a nurse. She is very intuitive, and I don't quite know how to explain it, but like, I feel like she has this innocence about her where she will like stick up for the truth no matter where she is. Like, when she's on the job, she brings up mold even though she could get in trouble. And I mean innocence as in truth teller. I don't, that's what I mean about the innocence part. But yeah, I think she's so badass though. I really love Danny, and she is still going through quite the journey, and she has so much to share already. But when she gets on the other side of this, she is going to have so much to share as well. And she is, she's really good at, like the body aspect of it, somatics, as are you. Yeah. What can you say about Danny?
Her handle is Dysregulated Adventures. So she has so much on her plate. A nurse, remediation number, who knows what. in Wisconsin, a mom. So she has a lot on her plate, but she is the first one to make a TikTok about, and she talks a lot about mast cell activation, MCAS, which if you go through mold, you probably have it. Almost everybody does at this point. She'll be the first one to make a video. So even though she's got these other 99 things going on, she's still out there, boots on ground, helping people. And I think that speaks a lot about her as a person.
Yes, her character is amazing. I know she just wants to help everyone. No strings attached, and she is so busy and just constantly just giving herself all the time. That's another thing that I admire about her. And she's of the people. She just loves people and is so good at connecting with people.
Willing to do whatever it takes to heal. And she will do what most won't. And that is sleep in a tent for a year in Wisconsin. If that doesn't speak to her desire to heal, I don't know what does, because most people won't even go. If you come to me and you ask, what should I do? Because I don't know if it's my house. And I say, go sleep in your tent for 3 nights. Go outside, sleep. Do you feel better? Then most won't do that. But she, for a year, in the Wisconsin, like that just, to me, just like, that's just so incredible that she values her health and her sanity that much. She's willing to go do that. Like, it's just huge.
That is amazing. She is about it, not just talk. So,
nope. Oh,
and I love how she breaks things down scientifically too. Okay, then next we have Stacy, our mold therapist, which I think is so amazing. Like, first of all, Stacy is just such an amazing person with an amazing, huge heart. And I love having her in the group. I just feel like mold is still taboo in, the medical industry and also in the mental health industry. And I have seen many stories about people even getting their children taken away because they're sitting here talking about mold and, needing to get out of their environment. And this one story in particular that I saw, the therapist is the one that called CPS on a mother. Yep. And so I just think it's very brave of Stacy, and just I love what she's doing. It's so important, and she so far is the only mold therapist that I see out there. I'm sure that there maybe is a couple others, but I think it's awesome what she's doing.
And then just what people need to realize is what a neurological and mental thing mold is. Depression, mold hold, mold rage. Those are all mental aspects of mold. And when she shares a lot of the symptoms. So she's bringing it into the schools, and she's making people more aware of it.
Yeah, I think it's so important to be able to talk to somebody, but somebody who understands what you're going through, because we can talk to a therapist all day long, but they're not really going to understand.
Not from them.
Like literally no one can understand how all encompassing this is unless they have been through it. So
let's even just talk about the part where you have to physically abandon your house and everything that you've ever owned. If it were a fire, nobody would question it. If it's mold, you're crazy. So that's the stuff that gets me fired up to be out here speaking, because that's very hypocritical. It's very wrong. And that needs to get changed.
I agree. Yep. And if it's mold, and if it was a fire, you would get more help.
Insurance.
Like insurance. People would
money,
understand.
People would bring you food.
Yeah.
You tell them you left and they're like, your house is dirty? Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that.
Yep.
So much mental stuff that goes along with going on this journey. So she is a good resource.
Yeah. I'm excited. Okay, and then I don't know much about our newest member, Tiffany. Can you?
Okay, so Tiffany and I have been friends for a few years, and she was in a moldy house over winter. She was finally able to buy a house in Michigan, and she thought she was on the other side. The realtor sold her this whole list of goods, knew that she was going through the mold journey, gets to the new place, and he had scammed her, moved her into a moldy house, and lied about everything. And so now she's right in the middle of dealing with that journey.
Oh my gosh.
So she's dealing with the, how do you go after a real estate agent who does you dirty like that? Because again, in all these different businesses, people are taking advantage of sick people and they don't care. They'll just cover it up and sell it to the next person.
Yeah.
So we need to get this more mainstream with real estate agents, with builders. Like it's so big. And she's a firecracker and she's very strong and she's very passionate. So I know she'll do big things for this group.
I'm excited to get to know her. And I do imagine that we'll all have like individual episodes. Well, we'll have to fill yours in with other stuff, but like I imagine we'll all have individual episodes kind of going over our stories, or in your case, just like, about you, so that people can
No,
get
my story
to know.
has to end.
Yeah.
Has to come to it. These 4 years later, there has to eventually be the end of the story. Holy crap.
It will. I do think that it's important to get all aspects out there and differing opinions because, again, everyone's different. And so we are a big group of people. We're not all going to agree about the same thing. So if you listen to one episode, just know that it's not a reflective episode of everybody, because we're going to have different opinions. But I think that's something that's going to make this podcast so unique.
Everybody's got a different journey. Everybody's going to go down their road at their time. And how we each get there is a very individual experience, even though that we're sharing as a group. So that's super important to remember. What works for me may not work for Baylie. At the end of the day, who knows who's wrong or who's right? I mean, we're all just trying to figure this out together.
And I love that we can all have our different opinions and still just be there for each other and be friends and get along. So
yeah,
it's kind of magic that works out, because that doesn't always work out.
That's not life. I'm telling you. I'm 53. I haven't seen such a cohesive group come together.
That brings me to my next topic, is that, like, if you kind of want to go over some of the topics that we're going to be covering.
Well, it'll be things like I think I have mold in my house. What do I, and we've been on here long enough that we all get the same questions like 20 times a day. How do I test for mold in my house? How do I test for mold in my body? So that can be an episode. What symptoms were you having? For me, all of my hair fell out. I was going bald. Look, I don't live in mold anymore, and my hair is down to my behind. These are the symptoms I've learned, and I actually don't call them symptoms. I call them signals. So my hair falls out, and my face aged 30 years overnight, and I'm like, that's weird. My gut was destroyed. Anxiety and panic attacks that were every single day. Couldn't leave the house. Like, just your list is so systems wide. It literally affects everything. It's very systematic. So we'll definitely go over all those, because the symptoms Baylie had was completely different than the symptoms that I had. And we've all kind of learned, and like Tony mentioned something, and I was like, oh, wait, I had that, and didn't even put it to. That's the other thing about having 9. I don't know how many there are. I can't count clearly, but to have that many people say things, it helps us to put our own puzzle pieces together. Because then it's like, oh my gosh, that's right. Because brain fog, memory loss, those are not cute. Those are not fun. Those are very serious symptoms of mold poisoning. Okay, remediation, kids and families. A lot of us have kids, and having to navigate for them, especially Baylie. The things that people don't say out loud. That'll be a fun episode. Kimberly will say it. And then interviewing with, we want to interview other people who have gone through it, so other people can share their stories and their experiences. So we will have lots of guests. And we've met so many people through TikTok who have amazing stories that need to be heard.
One thing that popped up while you were talking in the symptoms is that I was thinking is also masks as other things. Like, yes. One of the common things is people get diagnosed with MS a lot. Turns out just in mold.
And fibromyalgia is the other one. That's mold toxicity.
Don't even get me started there. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I am under the impression that fibromyalgia is not a diagnosis. It is a symptom of something else.
Of mold toxicity.
But
like we said, I'll be the one to say it. So
yes. Yep.
Bailey's our sweet angel. She's sweet and I'm spicy.
Oh, I guess we didn't go over what we bring to the group, but you are the siren, and you are such an intuitive, I would say that you're a healer. And you're so intuitive, but you also speak your mind, and we all love Timberly. We all kind of gravitate toward her, which I'm sure could probably be exhausting for her.
No, I'm the oldest. So it's like being the mommy grandma of the group, and these are all my little babies, and I want everybody to be healed. And even earlier, as an example, Baylie, Laura, and I were chatting, and somebody on my Facebook posts this cute picture of their outfit of the day. We don't live in that timeline. We live in a different timeline. And I'm like, why aren't our lives like this? Why can't I have on a bikini and be cute? And Laura's like, we have symptom of the day.
Yeah.
So it's just like, we are, I think what's also unique is that we're all empaths. and we're all not only in tune with ourselves, but with each other. If I know for myself, if Baylie hasn't said anything that day, I'm checking in. Baylie, are you okay? Everything okay? Do you need anything? I think I've just more taken on like a mommy role to everybody, and it's not exhausting at all. I love all my little babies.
I love it. It's, I don't know. You've heard like the concept, like we're all just like walking each other home. Not that we're going to die anytime soon or anything, but like, that's what I feel about our group. It's just like, we're keeping each other company through this really hard time in our lives. And we're just walking with each other along this path. And yeah, I think it's
Thank
great.
goodness. Because prior to that, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I was very alone, very secluded, very in my own head. It's a very lonely, dark, scary journey. But when you put people together who are going through the same thing, it's like a light bulb, right? That light bulb lights up that bulb that light, and then it's less grim when you know you have other people going through it too.
Right.
And I'm the frequency one, so I'll tell.
Yes.
I told Baylie. She said, I remember they had gone on a car ride and they came back, and her and her son and everybody was singing. And I said, and that's also how I look at myself, the frequency holder. Your frequency is going to you're going to bring them up. Frequency wise, they could all be down and sad, but you, as the mother of the household, you end up being even me with the grandchildren. I can read my daughter's energy, I can read their energy, and I know when I need to bring my energy here to smooth that out. Everything is frequency, everything is vibration. So.
Yeah. And then I would say, like, for me, my role, I don't know, I'm just the wild card. I don't know how to
so Baylie, what people will not track, because none of us did, and I look for her responses all the time when we chat, because she is hilarious. She has so many stories, and look how sweet and innocent our Baylie is. And I'm like, is this the same person? And it's funny, and it makes my entire stuff she says makes my entire day. So, oh my God, we have such a good group of people. Yes. I think you're very sweet. She's very organized. She's got, her kids that she's having to navigate their journeys on top of navigating her own. And it's been heavy stuff that she's had to navigate. But she'll still sit in front of you, very kind, very polite, and very funny. And now she's leading us through this podcast journey. So I just think that speaks a lot for just everybody as a whole that we're bringing to the table here.
Yes, I like to say that I try to keep things moving forward, in my life, in our group, and things. That's something that I always try to do, because I like get things stuck in my mind, and I just like kind of have a one track mind, and I get hyper focused. So I'm just like, okay, we got to do this. If I hear that the group is saying that they want to do this, I know it's not going to happen unless like we put some wheels to it. And so I'm just like going forward.
Yep. And we'll figure it out along the way.
Yes. I'm very messy, but it's because I just try it.
Yeah.
I just try
and
things.
That's all do. We need your organization to bring it to fruition. If I did it, I couldn't even set up whatever you did at the beginning. So this is good.
We're just going to try it out. And I imagine it's just going to get better as we get more comfortable. This is our very first episode, and I think it went great, but I'm excited to see what the future holds. I'm excited to see people get in their comfort zone and see what they do with this. So
every single one of us, the very top goal in this whole thing, and every single one of us has said it at some point, is that we want to make an impact. We want
Yes.
to be the change. Like, we want to make an impact, and we're all here to do it.
I agree. That's day one. We have all said that we want to change the world. So that's what we're here to do and hope to do. So I'm excited.
Claiming it.
Well, any final thoughts? We're about an hour in on the dot. We did great.
We did really good.
Yeah.
I would just say stay tuned. This is life. It's ever changing. Even for me, I went through mold, I healed, I had another exposure, I healed. It's going to be ever changing and ever flowing, just as life is. We hope that you stay tuned. We hope that you listen to our stories, but we hope that you resonate with our stories and that we can bring something that you've never heard of or thought of. And what we all want is for you to just be open to the possibility that this could be the thing that's making you sick or holding you back. And that it doesn't have to be a scary thing, because we are all here to kind of guide, help, and share along the way. And we've all been really good about helping other people along the way. So
yes,
kind of a nobody gets left behind scenario.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. Just stay tuned. If there's not, there's such a wide variety of people. Maybe, one or two people aren't for you. There's going to be so many different people that you might listen to. And I would even say if, one person is not your regular cup of tea or whatever, they still might have something for you that you haven't thought of, or, a gem, or I don't know. So it might surprise you. So I would definitely be open. And then just also know that none of us are medical professionals. None of us are even mold professionals. We are just sharing our lived experience, and we understand that something that worked for us might not work for you. So definitely do your due diligence in any of this. And
Yeah, that's always my advice. Especially as somebody who shares on TikTok, even sharing my machines and having people say, well, where's the link for that? No. I'm not here to say, go do this and here's my link. That's not what I'm doing. This is what it is. Now, you, as your own person, you need to go research it, and then you need to decide if that's something that you want in your house based off of your research. Because I can tell you right now, I've been told things that doesn't work and that doesn't work, but I've been doing it for 10 years and it works. So it is your responsibility to go do your own research for anything that is said on these podcasts. And that's your responsibility. That's not ours. We're just here sharing our experiences. Always do your research.
Well, this is fun. I love it. I'm excited. I'm so excited that this is finally coming to fruition. Episode 1 is a wrap.
That's a wrap.
All right. Bye, Timberly.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Love you.
Thank you for listening to Sporecast. If something in this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to share it with someone who needs to hear it. And we'll see you next time.